Yes, what do you choose? Do you choose the red pill? Or do you choose the blue pill? Do you want to be aware? Or do you just gonna go stay awake? This is the transition that I'm talking about. From the blue to the red, we are going up. Someday, all of us. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is part 2 of economic transition, because without that, I cannot talk about the money. Cannot talk about 2.0 of the money. So first I have to lay down the basics of what the transition is, because I didn't do the justice last time. I think I can do this right now. There are two things very important to understand. This time straightforward. There are two hijacked symbols of the authority, saying New World Order and showing us the stupid triangle with the eye on it, saying that, well, we control, we are the government. Oh yeah, we are mind control. It's not, I wouldn't say it's control of the mind, as Mark Passio puts it. It's mind that is controlling the body. You see, the body is the whole scheme of things. The eye depicted is the third eye, is the eye of the mind, ability to be aware. This is what it is. This is why saying, do you want to get awoken, or whatever. Some people say that people get awake during the process, that this is the process of awakening, but it's really becoming aware. It's the being awake is a metaphor for a transition from being asleep to being awake, which is taking no pill at all, just not existing at all. But being awake is still not existing compared to being aware. And again, you will have more pills in the future, not just the red one. There are more pills. Morpheus, right? They're gonna be another matrix for another pill. And that's when there's a theory that's also interesting. You should watch the game theories, or actually the film theory right now, about that matrix cannot be escaped. Yes, you can go to a next level, but you cannot escape the actual game that sets up those levels. So yeah, check that. It's all gonna be in the description. Now let's get back to the body and why I'm saying that it's not mind control, but control of mind. Well, we have the pyramid structure. On the top we have the eye, the third eye, or the mind. Yes, we have the eyes and whatever. And this is basically why it's control of mind. Now, because government translates into control mind, but I don't think it's mind control. It doesn't mean mind control. Thing is, if we look here into this section of the body, the mind controls this section of the body. Yes, it kind of does control this section as well, but we can't really completely isolate ourselves from the senses that we receive. So that's what we kind of receive. That's what the mind receives, and we can't really stop that. And we cannot stop this as well, the neck. The neck area is where we get all the resources from the body, but the body itself operates automatically. Yes, we can control the limbs, we can control just the movement of the body itself, but what operates inside it is completely automatic. We don't need to think about the pumping of the blood, we don't need to think about the breathing, we don't need to think about digesting food. We just put stuff in there, we get the energy, we just operate on that. We don't care about the lower levels. We don't care about the lower levels. This is what they declared to us. The government declared that we don't care. We just gonna declare that we don't fucking care. We're gonna declare that we are the control of mind. You can still accept that it's mind control because we all are people, the same as up there, so they have to mind control if there are still people left out. But what they declare, they separate themselves up from the pyramid. The pyramid represents rules, the structures of rules, of order. This is a representation, director's representation of New World Order, the separation of rules. And how clearly is that? Well, if you can see, there's a phrase 1% controls most of the money in the world, most of the value in the world, which is impossible. The value cannot be controlled by such a small amount of people. Most of the value is also produced by robots, but most of the value just simply comes from up there, from down here, where robots are, where all the slaves are, because most of us are just slaves, and we just produce value upwards. They don't really have value. They don't operate in terms of money at all. They have infinite amount of it. We operate on money. They don't. This is why there is such a thing as 1%, and it's not gonna fade away. What is an alternative that Peter Joseph has started is a zeitgeist movement, is a resource-based economy. This is basically a resize of this part, saying that all the people can get into this part where only resources, like all the resources that they need, they don't create any resources for themselves, they just take all the resources. They don't even have to give anything back really to us. Just like we don't really have to give nature anything. Nature is stable. The third section of the third platform of the pyramid is the whole nature. Like, we are based off nature. And we don't really need to give nature anything, right? We just draw on resources which are, renewable stuff. Sometimes it's not renewable, and that's another problem where nature gets unstable. But the same way, this part also gets unstable because we're using slaves. Slaves in the time where we have robots, basically saying that robots also produce value, like in a money sense, so they are equal to people. No, it's not happiness. It doesn't produce happiness. No, money will not buy you happiness. Money is not even a good motivation to create things. It's completely arbitrary. It's just ridiculous to have this equality happen right now. Robots are happy. Robots are just programmed to do what they want to do, or what they have to do. They don't have consciousness. They don't have wants and needs. They do have needs, but they do not have wants like we do, like we can have. while moving upwards. Once we here, having once is actually harmful for the upper section. Is like, no, don't have once. Like, don't. Sure, there's a mist of consumption going on that money can actually provide you with some resources. Money can make you feel like you're up there, but you know, they have declared already that we're gonna be selecting people that have only infinite amount of money, or once they're gonna be selected, they will have infinite amount of money. They will be able to draw any amount of resources from the lower class of robots that just produce resources, right? So what resource-based economy says is that only robots should be left, and the rule has to be established that all repetitive work, and this is what I use for work, and a cycle means repetition. Now work, W is a very powerful, or it seems to be very powerful. What is the biggest, most impactful action you can make? War, work, and writing, as in saying writing history. So this is the most impactful stuff you can do. I take this as the most impactful word because it also involves creativity. Work and war does not involve creativity, does not involve progress. I don't know. Writing just seems much more advanced. So also it probably involves the word world, and the word itself, the language. It's just so much, such a rich symbol, the W, right? That's why it's in the middle. That's why it says New World Order, I would say. And the order, all repetitive work ordered to do by robots. All repetitive work is done by robots. This is the rule. No more slaves. This is the end of slavery. This is what would end slavery. And this is the only way we can actually progress. First we have to give everyone the red pill. People that don't take the red pill, they're gonna stay here in this section. Sure, stay here, whatever. Surely there's something better up there, right? You would want to be up there, and the resource-based economy is just gonna declare this rule. And my money is not interested in this section, in how resources is going to be controlled and whatever. It's and the stupid thing that resources cannot be controlled fully automatically, that there cannot be a central system that controls resources. That's bullshit. As long as we just of course distributing resources is a little bit harder, but if lower section doesn't need resources at all, we only care about the upper section, right? And we can actually say that distributing resources is not even a problem, which is in order to establish this rule, right? This is distributing resources is just something, you know, that the upper section will have to deal with. Again, like, it's not what we have to deal with. So this is what I think would kind of manage. Like, we still have to have the money to distribute resources, right? So both systems would be in place, the free trading and resource-based economy, which kind of seem to contradict each other, but they don't. So these are the symbols that I use. perhaps free trade can actually have a better symbol, but yeah, they can actually work together. Government should not really exist as an entity that divides normal people from the government itself. So it's also very, very interesting. So to end the video, I would say that we can look back at what the money is, and then we will kind of know which way to go. What was, or at least supposed to be, a real purpose of the money is to evaluate people by how much they earn. So if you earn more, you can evaluate yourself, but really it's really hard to evaluate because money is basically, on the basis level, is like a form of survival. So you cannot like do this. You cannot like say that it's close to nature, like close to survival, that you can stand on nature. If you have money, it's retarded. So that's why the separation has to come, because to actually evaluate things, first you have to have established a very strong sense of survival, of being awake and not being like drawn into like survival mode, being awake state, but where you are actually not distracted by any means. You can just continue on and ask questions, become aware of how things work, and get into this position where you take the red pill, you're awake, you get all the knowledge you need, you can get into this position. Thing is, the current system does not allow transitions from here to here. At least it's not very flexible yet. Or of course there's that declaration that you cannot go up here, you cannot become the government, you can just kind of elect the government. It's just retarded. You have no impact, you have completely zero impact to what goes up there. Only resource wise, you can cut yourself off, saying that I'm not going to produce resources, but that's about it. And the way you can cut yourself off, you can say, well, we're gonna re-establish the system and see quickly, again, reset the system, but reset in a completely different way. We're gonna say that all people that want to participate will participate, and only robots are gonna be in the lower section, and people that want to participate are gonna straight go up here rather than here. Otherwise they're just gonna be left alone. This is what I think happened to the human society in general, and the connection with aliens. I would say aliens don't really want to like connect with us because we are treated as robots, most of us, right? So they only want people to go straight here. Maybe they are even more advanced than being aware, so maybe they want even higher criteria type of people to contact them. I don't know, but so far they have been contacting us. I think even at least those people who were aware, so that should be enough. It should be enough to get to this level, to start actually acknowledging even deeper levels of who we are existing with. So not just how to survive, right? We don't care who exists, they don't care that we exist. Like we don't care about uncivilized people that are isolated in some islands. We don't even want to touch them, we just want to see how they evolve, right? We're interested more in that than actually helping them evolve, because it's a pretty hard process to actually help uncivilized people to understand things, to actually feed those pills. It's really hard process. It's something that the whole society has to do at once, or you have to separate yourself and say that we declare this rule and enough people have to actually make up this triangle here. Thing is, like, we are all in control, and we also can actually get to the point where we can actually make those little triangles where we can have something like this. We have the basis of nature, we have the main pyramid, but we also can mix our own sections, our own societies, and see which one works. Of course, it's likely that we're gonna be declared war against, which is also very problematic when, you know, we're kind of going against someone's interest into controlling things because we would draw more people into those pyramids and stuff like that. It's really complex stuff. In order to sustain the progress, the transition is a really difficult thing to do, but I think it's something that, you know, must happen if we want to become awake. We must get rid of the fear and get the freedom, which means that knowledge is freedom. Knowledge is the only form of freedom. And this is something I'm going to talk about next time. How knowledge becomes freedom, but you can kind of prepare yourself and be excited instead of fearing of what I may talk about, right? Because when you start at the very beginning, you kind of fear. Like, even you starting the video, watching my videos, I guess, you would fear that you will not like it, you know, you don't want to participate. Because once you start participating, you're just in the whole community. You just have to consume most of the content that you are subscribing into. So at least that's the challenge. That's the completion part of it. Like, you become a completionist of that community. You have to consume everything that is put out there. This is kind of what Reddit is, but Reddit is not that well designed because of the vote ups and vote downs are just operating without knowledge as well, just like the money does. It says that a robot has the same impact as a normal human being, which is retarded. The equality completely is negated with the knowledge, because knowledge evaluates things. Knowledge actually creates the structure which would be only sustainable in the higher ups, where we actually evaluate people who are the greatest, you know. We put them on the top because we can actually evaluate them by score, by pure score, by pure level 2 of money as well, a new form of money. This is what is the purpose of the money, at least was the purpose of the money, is just to put people higher up who are able to survive better, but now the survival thing is just thrown off the table because of the creativity, right? We needed people who can survive better because, well, they can give us tools to survive the same way as they did, but now we have enough tools to move even forward from survival to something much better. And this is the transition as a whole. Now, in 2 parts, hopefully you understand. At this point, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it there. We're gonna make this transition from the blue to the red pill. Like, Matrix is the whole movie we are living in. It's like there's a phrase, we are living in Matrix, right? I guess this is what it means. At least it's cool that I can attach this meaning to it. that we are actually living in the Matrix, and we have to make this transition. We have to make this choice, every single one of us, and we have to make the society that operates on this very simple rule that there are no slaves. Only robots can actually make resources for us. If we want certain kind of resources, we have to wait until our technology is able to gather those resources. Otherwise, we are not able to get those resources by any means necessary. We cannot use any human force. Only to make robots, to maintain those robots, to not do any repetitive task. That usually mining is a repetitive task. Usually any kind of gathering is a repetitive task. Any resource gathering and producing type of work. So yeah, I hope you are excited as I am, and I will want to develop further in the next videos what the idea of the next level money is gonna be. And this is I guess the most interesting part. So I'll just gonna do it right away actually, once I finish the video. Thank you for watching, really appreciate it.